What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the My Player Career Mode. Today we have a very important episode for you guys to feast your eyes upon. It's quite a long one as well, in all honesty. It's 17 minutes long, so I've got to sit here and do a post-con for 17 minutes, which is going to be kind of straining on the voice. But regardless, anyway, guys, today's episode, we have that all-important second leg of the quarter-final of the Champions League up against our former club, Bayern Munich. And I say all-important because we are 1-0 down on aggregate going into this one. We're taking them on at the Allianz Arena. They have the away goal, so as long as we score one here and do not concede, we will take it to extra time no matter what. We just have to match their result that they got in the first one. So this is going to be tough. It's not going to be an easy game, this one, at all, by any stretch of imagination. So for the entirety of this episode, by the way, guys, it is played on professional, and I have to say, all of the games were somewhat very, very competitive in that sense. Both teams having quite a few chances, and also, we don't have games where we didn't concede. So in certain terms, it's a bit more realistic in this episode. So I'm very happy to say that. But I will say right now, if we get knocked out by our former club, Bayern Munich, I will be pissed. I will not be happy one bit. And the thing is, I left Bayern Munich because our season there didn't really go to plan. We were injured for a bit of it as well. I didn't really hit my goal scoring heights. I left to Manchester City. I wanted to win the Champions League. That was my aim. We went to the Prem. City got us in the Champions League, but then we're knocked out, and we just didn't really get going at City either. So we did score a lot of goals there. We had a lot more goals than we did games. But, you know, in terms of our Champions League running, it didn't happen for us there either. So imagine if we went to Real Madrid and we're knocked out here in the quarterfinals against one of our former clubs. It just wouldn't go down well at all. So we have to have the big players step up in this game here at the Allianz Arena. Otherwise, we can kiss this season's Champions League goodbye. So 1-0 down on aggregate. We need a good start and a big start from this one here. 19 minutes on the clock. We stole the ball in our half. I really did make a fantastic run, but you have to credit the ball through there from our teammate, running through one-on-one with the keeper. We had got the goal that we needed inside the first 20 minutes of the game. Vital, actually, that we did get that early goal, because I've spoke previously, I like to have early goals because otherwise you're put in a situation where you can't quite find the goals that you're hoping for. And at the end of the day, if we didn't get one very early here, who knows how this game could have gone. So we did get the early goal. It was vital that we did it. And it just allowed us, I guess, to have a little bit more kind of sureness that we knew we could get the result here. So very early on, I have to credit my teammate. As I said, that ball was fantastic straight through the middle for me to then latch onto and finish the move off. But I kind of felt like I had a game plan for this one. I kind of, in my mind, set myself a game plan. I was telling myself I was going to run the channels a fair bit because I felt like down this right-hand side was where Bayern were quite weak. If you remember, Philipp Lahm is still at the club. In that sense, I could outpace him every day of the week if he was playing on the right-hand side. I'm not quite sure if he was, but I knew for sure that I had to make sure I was running down a channel. Rather than go to Alaba's side, I chose the right-back slot. And it's actually not Philipp Lahm, it's somebody else here. But this is what I mean. Running the channels is vital. And I ran it again here. Get down the line. Mats Hummels is not beating me in a sprint race here. Whip it across the face of the goal and take a look at that finish from Julian Brandt. What a finish this is from the young German. And just like that, within the space of 32 minutes at the Allianz Arena, we'd completely turned the tie on its head. What a game and what a way to start this one off. If this was real life, you would have so many, you know, Sky Sports would be all over this. You'd have people on Twitter going mental at the fact that Real Madrid had just got themselves 2-0 up in a game in which Bayern Munich were in control of. They are in control of this one here. You know, if they'd have got a 0 draw or anything like that, they'd have gone through in the group. So, oh, not in the group, sorry, in the knockout round. So it's all down to them. And it's now all about how they can respond to us, because we took a 2-0 lead here with 2 away goals as well. It's even more vital as I ran the channel yet again here. This time on the 42nd minute of the game, the same channel that I've been running all game long. Got my ball inside here. Nice little turn back. I gave the pass off to Casemiro, who strikes one goalwards. And the less said about that one, the better from the Brazilian there. But a fantastic move nonetheless. And it's just showing you how much success we are getting down that left-hand side currently of this, or down the right-hand side, sorry, of Bayern Munich's defence, but down the left foot, of course, attacking-wise. So, although everything was going swimmingly for us, there was always that kind of little bit in my mind that was going to tell me that Bayern Munich had the capabilities to get themselves back into the game, and they certainly did that there. Cosiello with the strike. It took a massive deflection on the way through, though, and that is what beat our goalkeeper. But nevertheless, Bayern Munich 1, Real Madrid 2 here, so 2-2 at the moment on aggregate. If it stays as it is, we are going through on the away goal ruling. So a fantastic tie here, I have to say. It's been very competitive. I enjoy playing this, and if we'd have gone out, I'd have happily gone out to a very, very good game here up against Bayern Munich. So at the moment, we are going through on that away goal ruling. And there was time as well as Bayern Munich realised they had to start committing men forward. They came very lackadaisical at the back, gave the ball away cheaply, and we stole a goal with 8 minutes to go in the game. And at that point, honestly, I just wanted to make sure we didn't do anything stupid and give anything away sloppy, because otherwise we were going to end up seeing ourselves go out when we were in a position to go through here. But this third away goal means that now Bayern Munich have to win the aggregate tie. There's no way, shape or form they will go through, in my opinion, with 8 minutes to go. But you never know. You know, football's a funny old game, and you never know what's going to happen. Just yesterday as well, you remember, Hartlepool were staying up as of the 88th minute until Newport County scored their goal to go through to win the game and ended up knocking Hartlepool down. So football's a funny old game, so you never know what Bayern Munich are capable of doing in the last 8 or so minutes from time here. But all that was important is that we looked as if we were getting ourselves through this game and into the semi-finals of the Champions League, which I am absolutely stoked about. Of course, there's still a little bit of time left, but Bayern Munich would have to score twice here now to go through, and I just did not see that happening. And as you can tell, 90 minutes on the clock, Bayern Munich 1, Real Madrid 3, sorry, on the day, meaning we win the tie 3-2 on aggregate, and we do in fact get ourselves through the next round into the semi-finals, where we'll be taking on a different club. And you'll see that draw in just a moment's time here. I don't want to spoil anything just yet, even though it is a few seconds away from us, so you can see who we've got and see the other tie in that semi-final as well. It's a very, very interesting semi-final, let me tell you that for sure. There's a team in there who haven't been in the Champions League for a fair few years now, and it's nice to see them on the up. And I'm sure a lot of you guys who watch my videos, who are fans of this club, will be glad to see them in there as well. So that was how the game ended. You can see by the match facts, guys, we had less shots, or one less shot rather, than Bayern Munich did, but we had 3 on target, and those 3 on target were the ones that mattered because we finished off every single chance we had on target. So yeah, it was a competitive game. Both teams were in it. Another day there, we don't score 3 goals and we get knocked out. But regardless, guys, we're through to the semi-final. And it was honestly just, I was sighing, I was relieved. I was relieved to go through because I did not want to get knocked out. I'm sure you guys can understand where I'm coming from. The amount of times I've been in the Champions League in this situation and be knocked out, it's not a nice feeling. I just want to win the Champions League before the end of this series. We're now 87 episodes in, and we haven't even played in the Champions League final. So we've got a long way to go if we get knocked out again. So I don't want that to happen here. You can see the draw there on your screen. Manchester United will take on Barcelona after they knocked out Chelsea 4-2. Barcelona knocking out PSG 3-2. We will be playing Liverpool, who knocked out my favourite club, Arsenal, by 4-3. So like I said, you know, Liverpool back on the up in that sense as well. United in there as well. So that's really, really cool to see. And I cannot wait to start to show you those guys, show you those games up against Liverpool, the double leg to come. One at Anfield, one at Santiago Bernabeu, of course. And hopefully, after the 2 legs, we will get ourselves through into the final of the Champions League. For the first time ever in my career, I've not played a Champions League final yet. And coincidentally, guys, at the end of this season, we have the World Cup with England, so we could potentially get ourselves a second World Cup depending on how we play over there. So we'll see what happens in that one. Up until that time, guys, we've still got the league to play for, we've still got the Champions League to play for, and we've still got the Copa de España against Barcelona to play as well. We've got so many games to come, and we potentially could do the treble here. How cool would that be to do as well? So we'll see. We'll see what happens regarding those. But up until that point, guys, a game up against Levante here. You can see the league table currently. We are sat 16 points ahead, I do believe. Yeah, 16 points ahead, if my maths isn't wrong, of Barcelona, sat in second at the moment. So in that case, we have 6 games to go. So there's 18 points to play for, and we are 16 ahead. So it's pretty much looking likely that we're going to be league champions by the end of this episode, depending on how these last 2 games go. But Levante, not an easy team to play against. Of course, Nastic and the team side to have beaten us twice this year. And I just cannot believe we lost both games to them the way we did as well. But that's football for you, as I said. Anything can happen in football. It is a funny old game. As well, guys, if you wanted to take note, I uploaded my first Facecam series on the channel earlier on at 4 PM UK time today. So if any of you are interested in that, then head over there and you'll be able to watch us play Football Manager 2017 with Facecam. So in case you're interested in it, you know, never know. You know, you might be... Actually, I don't know if it did go up at 4 PM. It either went up at 4 or 6. So it'll definitely be on the channel no matter when you see this video at some point during today. So in that case, just, yeah, look back on the channel and you'll be able to see our first Facecam series. We did have one before, but I actually lost that save file because my computer died on me, so I had to get a new one. So that's kind of why I have re-uploaded it in that sense. So hopefully you'll enjoy that regardless. But we got off to a wonderful start here up against Levante as to we scored a very, very early goal. Pretty similarly, actually, in the fact of we scored one against Bayern quite early. I scored a very similar one here against Levante quite early. So in terms of that one, we've started both games in the episode off pretty brightly so far, which is really good to see as well. But my plan for this one, guys, was actually to ask for a substitution halfway through the game, because I actually had a game coming up after this against, I think it was Atletico Madrid, and I wanted to play that one as well. So my fitness at this stage wasn't that great, so I did get the change come into play. Alvaro Morata was the man to replace me as he came off the bench, and it's one of them things where, you know, I would like to play 90 minutes in every single game, but sometimes it's not possible. Fitness-wise, I did feel as though I needed to save some for the Atletico Madrid game, and it was actually bad because Levante, after that, started to get themselves into the game in the second half, and they would get themselves a chance here, and it was a good chance as well, as it was finished off in the 64th minute to make the score 1-1 here. So the home side got themselves back on level terms. I was not on the pitch for this stage, so in that sense, I could not change the outcome of this game. It would have to fall to the hands of Alvaro Morata, the man who replaced me, or somebody else on the pitch to get the winning goal from this one here. And you can see Courtois got a hand to that one there, but unfortunately didn't have enough to be able to keep the ball out of the back of the net. So at this stage, it was 1-1. Like I mentioned before, though, we're so far out in front that a draw here didn't mean the end of the world. All it meant was that kind of party for the final of the, you know, I guess the last game of, you know, La Liga Santander, where we can lift it, it would just have to kind of be put off a little bit more. So in that sense, a draw here is not the end of the world. I would not like to lose this, as Morata, the man replacing me, struck one against the post there, and it should have been the winning goal, but unfortunately the Spaniard could not find it in that respect there. So unfortunately, guys, we ended up coming away with a point from this one. As I said, it's not the end of the world. We still get a point here, and I'm pretty sure Barcelona also drew their game as well. So in terms of that one, if we can get a result up against Atletico Madrid, I think even a point will do over there, then we will be champions of La Liga. So it's my second time actually winning the champions. Winning the Liga title, sorry, not winning the champions. I will be the champion, that's what I meant to say. So it was my second time winning La Liga. I already won it at Valencia, and in that sense as well, I've already won the Copa de España at Valencia. So both of these trophies are nothing new to me, but certainly that Champions League is a whole new experience. I'm actually unsure if we've even been to the semi-final before. I think this is the first time that we're ever reaching the semi-final. So that's, you know, we've gone one step further, and even if we get knocked out in the semi-final, we progress year by year, and I'm sure next year we'll try and reach that final yet again. So, as I said, last game of the episode coming up against Atletico Madrid here. You can even see, guys, even after I came off at halftime during that game against Levante, my fitness still wasn't full for this game here against Atletico Madrid. So, imagine if I'd have continued playing for the last 45 minutes. Imagine my fitness after that, what we would have been coming into this one here. So, I think it was the right decision to make, although we only got a point from it. I think, you know, playing against Atletico Madrid in the Madrid derby, for me personally, I would say that was a better decision to make rather than staying on and potentially getting a winner against Levante. I hope you guys can understand me substituting myself off and stuff. But it actually, in that sense, you know, we've seen a lot of stuff happen at the moment because of obviously the end of the season and stuff, and I know not a lot of you guys are like, you know, Premier League fans and stuff, and you guys obviously support different clubs around the world, but I have a question for you, right? I know Spurs bottled it the other day, but after yesterday's result of Arsenal against Manchester United being 2-0 there, Arsenal with a game in hand, if they can win that, they go 3 points behind City, who will be sat in 4th place. This is a question for you guys who do watch Premier League football. Who do you think will be the top 4 come the end of the season? And now I don't mean, obviously, who's going to be in the top 4. I want you guys to actually tell me which positions you reckon the teams are actually going to be in. So I'm going to leave a pinned comment on the bottom of this video here with my prediction for the top 4 and the positions that it will be. In fact, I'm going to say top 6, right? I'm going to say top 6. But let me know what you guys reckon for the top 6 come the end of this Premier League season, because I think there's a whole big chance of anything happening between now and the end of the season. There's still a lot of games to play. United have got a tough game up against Celta Vigo in their second leg of the Europa League, so nothing's certain with them right now, and City's form have been a bit iffy as well, and in many cases, Liverpool drawing at Southampton the other day also showed you that their form could slip up between the end of the season. Having said that, I do still believe it'll be probably Chelsea top, Spurs second, Liverpool third, City fourth. That's what I kind of think it's going to be. But anyways, I'll leave my pinned comment down the bottom. You guys can check that out. And then let me know what you guys reckon the top 4 will be for the Premier League in this season. Well, the top 6 as well, because of course, you know, United and stuff are still going to be in there. So let me know what you guys reckon. But this game up against Atletico Madrid, guys, we already got the goal here in the first kind of few minutes of the game. We managed to go 1-0 up, and then in the 80th minute, we got a second chance to go 2-0 up in this one here. So like I said, we were comfortable throughout the majority of this one, but the games certainly were more competitive. I don't know what it was. I haven't played my player in a few days, and I came back after about a 4-day break to play it, and it just felt like the games were a lot more competitive when I played it on professional. I don't know why. because it shouldn't really have too much of an effect, because obviously even if the difficulty of professional, my team will still play exactly the same as the CPU team. The only difference is me controlling my players. So in that sense, it was a bit weird to see the games more competitive on professional than they were on the likes of legendary or world class. So in this game here, we took a 2-goal advantage into this 80th minute mark now, as I scored my second goal of the game. And if you remember as well, guys, last episode we were attacked yet again by Zinedine Zidane, and so I felt, again, this episode proved my worth to the rest of the Real Madrid fans and the boys on the pitch. And, you know, it doesn't matter if I have my manager's back, and at the end of the day, if he's going to play me, I'll still do my thing and score goals, and that was what I wanted to show here. It wasn't all sailing for us, though, because Atletico Madrid did, in fact, get themselves back a goal and a consolation in the end, as 6 minutes from time, a nice move from them fell to the path of their man who strikes one goalwards. But yet again, Courtois got his hand to this and couldn't keep it out. That's the second time I've seen him do this episode, and it's frustrating because he did it against Levante last game as well. So, in that sense, I guess it came in with a lot of pace, and probably he's no way he's going to save that. But it's still, when your keeper gets a hand to it, you have to say, sometimes if he gets, you know, a stronger hand, does he possibly push it onto the post or push it over? Who knows? But in that case, he pushed it into the back of the net, and it meant that we were 2-1 in the game. But as you're going to see, guys, we did, in fact, go on to win the game by 2-1. 90 minutes on the clock. Referee ended up blowing his whistle here at the Santiago Bernabeu, bringing an end to the Madrid derby as we came out on top. So, yeah, happy with that result there. Happy to get the 2 goals as well. But ultimately, from here on out, guys, as you can see, that was how the match facts were. Again, look at the match facts. We were dominated in terms of shots. I'm not saying dominated, but we certainly was not as good, but they had exactly the same shots on target. So in that sense, you know, it doesn't matter how many shots you have. If you have the same on target as somebody else, it really doesn't matter how many you have in general. You've got to be getting them on target, and that's the end of it all. So in that case, guys, you're going to see a little news clipping as we did, in fact, wrap up the La Liga title, and we are champions of La Liga, and we cannot be caught now at the top of the table. You see it pop up on your screen in just a moment's time. However, that is not what we're looking forward to now. Now we are looking forward to that semi-final of the Champions League up against Liverpool. We have a job to do in that one. I want to reach the Champions League final, and I'm sure you guys do as well for this series. And that's going to be it from me. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. If you have, I'd appreciate a like rating. As I said, depending on what time this video goes live, there was a Football Manager 2017 Facecam video also going live today as well. So just look on the channel. It might already be up. But other than that, guys, I'll see you all with another video very, very soon. Adios.